reviewing this little MOC that I have right here. There's actually two of them right here. There's the other one. And sorry I haven't been uploading in like the past month or so, but I haven't really got any new things to make a video on. But I want to kind of, get back into it because I just got a bunch of new things that I could make videos on. Sorry if there's weird noise in the background. That would be my washer, which make weird noises when it's done. And then it keeps going, and then it makes the weird noise again. I don't know exactly what that's about, but yeah. Anyway, so this right here, is going to be a project of mine. And by the way, the Alien Isolation Minecraft thing, it's still going on, but the reason it's going to be so long between episodes is because I haven't made enough new things to make another episode about it. Well, I have now, but our TV broke, so possibly next week or next weekend I'll make another one. But then don't be expecting another one for like a month or at least 3 weeks or something. But anyway, this right here is about a story that I'm currently writing, and this is kind of just like models for that story. And yeah, so basically I'll review this later because this won't really make sense without this making sense. So basically the story takes place, quite a few years into the future. It basically takes place in a time of space exploration, not a time of open, widespread space travel, but definitely space travel nonetheless. Probably like 2060 something, like 2060, I don't know, 7 or something. Not time of space travel, but the time of, not the time of like widespread space travel, like in Star Wars. Not like that, because in Star Wars everyone has a spaceship. In this, it's like you go to a planet, you start new, or at least that's when this colony started. Like the colony would have first arrived on this planet at, I don't know, like 2045 or 2044 or something. And then, and then the people of this have been born on this planet, or at least have traveled to this planet when they were very young, to create the story. So, basically, right here, this is scene 2. I haven't really created scene 1 yet, because it's not really open. Like this right here, this is a entire kingdom, or an entire, kingdom, empire, whatever, that people built. And of course, since you kind of start humanity all over again when you colonize a new planet, this right here kind of looks, or not looks, but it's kind of medieval, but because it's like a castle, it's set up like a castle, but it's kind of not really. It's almost based off of the engineer city from Covenant, from Alien Covenant, which, by the way, not a lot of people like that. I personally loved it, but not a lot of people say they like that. So, leave a comment down below whether you liked it or hated it, or haven't seen it. But, yeah, and what I mean by that, outer wall, inner city, citadel, that's what I mean. And, so basically, scene 2 is I'm just going to call him the Calm Guys Empire is going to attack this place. Because there's 2 empires, basically. And one is a glitching guy. And I kind of took inspiration off of him from, not sure if you've seen Markiplier's video, Darkiplier versus Antisepticeye. I kind of took inspiration off of that for the first scene. It's kind of 2 people, one glitching, like Antisepticeye, and one calm. and relaxed and everything, very professional, like Darkiplier. And if you guys haven't checked out Darkiplier versus Antisepticeye, highly recommend it. It's pretty good. Bit cheesy, but good. Anyway, so that's the first thing. That's the first scene. Then Glitching Guy, quote unquote, dies. He will come back later, but he dies. And then Calm Guy, which would be the guy that is represented best by Darkiplier, which I haven't really thought up a name for them yet. I had a few floating around, but they're kind of common names. I want them to be very, sticking out, kind of like Darth Vader, but or like Luke Skywalker. I mean, Luke's pretty common, but Skywalker's not. But anyway, so this scene 2. This is Glitching Guy's empire. Glitching Guy is now quote unquote dead. Calm Guy is going to attack this place, and basically these things out here, these are AI cores or AI tubes, kind of like in or not really, the Trade Federation ships. I was gonna make a comparison to them, but I realized it doesn't really fit, because I was gonna say if you destroy these, all the AIs from that die, but I forgot that that's not what I was gonna do. Anyway, so each little circle here, each little circle from one side to the other is 50 feet, and then right here, from this thing sticking up from this side to the other, 70 feet. So yeah, you kind of get the scale of this. It's pretty big. So these right here are just giant, like, silos of just AI. This one over here is for, like, Vulture droids from Star Wars. Not any look like them, but kind of like that idea. An AI driving a, like, airplane, kind of, in this. Again, they don't have space travel, or they do, but they don't have space travel. They arrived in space travel in a spaceship, but they don't have it. So it's kind of like how a Vulture droid flies, almost, like there's no propellers or anything. Kind of like a modern day stealth bomber. You can't really see the propellers, but they're there, or whatever it flies off of. So that's what that is. And then this one over here is for ground troops, kind of basically tanks and kind of like Terminator robots. Again, not in any look, but in same purpose. Very strong, very hard to destroy, very, very, fast, and they pack a punch. Basically, the Terminator. So then, front gate here. This is these things right here. You're probably like, hey, what are those? Those are actually Tesla coils, which was inspired off of Nikola Tesla. But I'm not sure if you ever heard of Tesla coils. Probably have, but yeah. Basically, the idea behind them is each prong sticking out here, it would be like a Tesla, and electricity passes between them. And not only up and down, but also horizontally. And then, like anything that would pass under here, since lightning is grounded, anything that passes through here would get zapped unless the power feed to these stop. Which, yeah, would be controlled by either up here or Citadel. And then here, more Teslas. More Teslas. That kind of zap inward in here. I'm not sure if you can really see it, but that is that entire thing there. I'll try to get a view you guys can see. Yeah, like way over here, the finger. There you go. You can see it from way back here. Citadel, you can see my finger there. That it's just a straight path all the way through to get to the city, which is in here, which I'll get to in a second. But so there's kind of 2 layers of wall here, and then kind of medieval style again, walls that have homes built into them. And in between the 2 walls it's kind of like no man's land. It's death, basically. There's like a 5-foot trench in there, and then over here, there's kind of just a little slit in the wall for gun emplacements or whatever. But then in here, over here would be kind of just like one tube coming out, which would be the circle things, or the studs. They're like tubes, and they would both represent like tubes that would release gases or something like that, something that you would not want. And then in there would just be a bunch of gun emplacements built on this wall in here to fire down at the enemy if they try to break through this wall. So, but then the most fortified place, of course, is the front gate. So if anyone wanted to go through the front gate, they would most likely die. If anyone wanted to go through any other part of the wall, they would most likely die. And then, of course, in here, since, I mean, this is huge scale, in here there would be, like, down here in this trench here, not sure if you can really see it, there would be, like, anti-aircraft turrets and things like that. So, yeah, which would fight against this right here, which I'll get to in just a second. But then in here is kind of like, over here in the walls, very, like, flat, plain. That's what, that's where the homes would be, built into those walls. And then back there, the citadel is where, you know, like the ruler would be, which in this case is Glitch Guy. And yeah, over here, I know this piece is faded out, and I gotta replace that. I don't know if you can fix them or something like that. Put them in Coca-Cola. I don't know. I know that works with coins. But anyway, so then in here, back here, you can see that in No Man's Land, oh, what's this? There's a ramp. I'm not sure if you can really see it, but right here there's a ramp. That leads up to this wall here, you know, in there and then in there. Which, you know, would just be for, like, artillery vehicles or tanks or something, if you wanted them to have, you know, artillery purposes. And also over here and there's ramps leading up here, then ramps leading up here, and everything to just get around. And so, kind of down there, all civilian district. Up here would be kind of, you know, military, basically. And then over here, this back wall would just be maintenance, or where all the reactors, the city reactors are. And yeah, but the citadel just kind of has this balcony out here, which would be like if the leader wanted to make any like announcements or celebrate a holiday or something, that's where he would go, and then make a speech if he wanted to make a speech, or just look out over his empire. Because yeah, I kind of wanted to make it as menacing as possible, because again, each little thing, each little circle here would represent like 50 feet. That would be like 1,000 feet high, I think. No, probably not. A few hundred feet high. Okay, maybe each circle represents 100 feet then. I don't know. But I just wanted to be like menacing, like, oh wow, I'm dead if you're just walking up here in the army, in the calm guy's army, and you just look up and you just see this right here. You're like, oh crap, I'm dead. Now there's two different designs for that. One is just this, and then two, giant artillery gun. Boom. That right there, to me, looks very cheesy. Because, I mean, it's like a giant gun that would be hundreds of feet long. And it's just, I don't know. It kind of tried to pull that idea off of, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, the 2003 Clone Wars. Not the 2006 or 8 Clone Wars. Not the very popular Clone Wars, the one that is my favorite piece of media ever. Or, not media. Why did I say media? But my favorite thing ever. You know, the one before that, it's like the first episode of that where all the ARC troopers are climbing up it and place a bunch of bombs on that giant gun. And then there's the invincible guy that Obi-Wan blows up from the inside. Yeah, that gun. right there. It's based off of that. So I kind of like it better without it, but then the city kind of, it's like, well, what's special about the city? I meant that going to be like, what is special about it? But, you know, whatever it goes. But then this right here, not scale size to this, but this is what Calm Guy's bombers look like. Now, in this, I think there's two kinds of bombers. One, very slow bombers that deliver a giant payload and can take hits. Kind of like the Flying Fortresses from, or the Star Fortresses from The Last Jedi, or the Flying Fortresses in World War II. Yeah. Back here, engine and rear gun. Underneath here, bomb drop mechanism right here. Like, you just open up. Ah, crap. Just open up this part. Oh, yeah, there we go. Open up that part, bombs drop out, close that. This right here would be the other kind of bomber, not the slow ones that deliver a huge payload and can take a hit. This one right here is it's very weak. You strip off the armor basically and give it one super fast engine and not a lot of cargo space, and this one is super fast, kind of like an A-wing. It's super fast, but if it'll only take like 1 or 2 hits and it's dead. But yeah, then up here you got the front cannons down, and then this thing right here where it kind of goes down here and then cuts back. That is just protection for this rear part, because if you get a frontal shot straight down here, bombs could go off. Again, in The Last Jedi, not my favorite movie, but if they're armed, only if they're armed, they can go off. But if they're armed and you hit them, boom, they go off. Or if you jam this door, then lost its bombing mechanism, and you can hit the engine and the rear gun out. So that would be bad. But then, how you get into this, you don't really see a screen, do you? Like a window to look out. You don't see any of that. Well, that's because right here, this is a hatch. It just opens up. A person crawls in there. That closes back up. And there's basically, you just crawl in there. And then this part down here is also kind of for like leg room. Or, no, not this part. But this little part right here just kind of sits in there. Not a lot of space at all. Matter of fact, less than a TIE Fighter. Or TIE Interceptor, I should say. Because TIE Fighters actually have a pretty big cockpit, but as displayed in Star Wars Rebels. But TIE Interceptor, smaller than that cockpit-wise. Basically just slide in there, sit in a seat, and a computer screen comes down. Kind of like in Star Trek. How they had, like on the bridge was in the middle of the ship. You couldn't really see out of it, but it just had those screens that displayed everything. That's kind of what I took inspiration for that off of. And, yeah. Like 3 heads-up displays come down, or like 2 screens, or like 3 screens. And they all have like different heads-up displays for like, okay, that's our team, because like my thing is like all the ships and all the soldiers would have like chips put into them that they could, like into their brain, that they could, you know, silently display orders, or relay orders, not display orders, relay orders, and also that people in the middle of battle can be like, oh hey, there's these orders just came in, kind of like a training mission or training episode of the Domino Squadron in Clone Wars. One of my favorite episodes. When Echo kind of just relays all the orders, and they're like, Echo, shut up, and he's like, stop calling me that, stop relaying every order. And yeah, so that's why he got his name. But yeah, so that's basically it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Back here, these things right here, ventilation. That's the only ventilation the ship will get. And yeah, ventilation over here. These things right here. These grates, ventilation for the Tesla coils, because that got to get pretty hot, because it's just pure electricity for like every second, every day, unless someone friendly is going through there, then they'll turn them off. But that's got to get pretty hot. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Leave a like if you enjoy this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And tell me what I should review next, because I'm really running out of ideas here. Other than the Alien Isolation Minecraft thing. But yeah. Subscribe if you haven't already. I think I already said that. And just suggest to me any ideas, any video games I could play. And yeah. See you guys in the next video. This has been Mitchell. Bye for now.